government. Every crisis that happens, remember Golfgate, how do they keep just, basically just pulling themselves away from it? How do they keep doing it? We have to ask you that question. Let's put it this way. So, probably many people don't know because OT won't mention it. Why would OT mention it? Because people will be in uproar. And I want to say this straight to people. Is it right for any member of the government to give themselves an extra 2,000 during when small businesses are lying on their backs? Pubs are open about 10 seconds. They had the clubs getting out of them. They're struggling. These small pubs are not owned by big corporations. They're small local pubs. Again, the government are the ones making these guidelines. And they're not giving really much. They're not really too bothered about them. I might as well say straight. They're more worried about the back pockets. Because again, they never took a pay cut. Pascal Donoghue, I remember, he was smug when he said the government wasn't going to take a pay cut. He was very smug about it. Again, it's only right. 96,000 a year probably pays no tax. Half of them probably pay no tax. The door tabs in Dáil Evans Bar, that was probably open. It's probably completely open. It's probably open all day for them to just waltz in at any time in the morning. It's a joke. And then Golfgate. How did they get away from that? Again, people were in uproar. Rightly so. People were in uproar back then. That a Supreme Court judge, along with many politicians, along with ministers, and ambassador, again, I could go on, OT Percento were there, and they were all having a great time in Golfgate, in the golf society. Isn't it great? And an absolute uproar, and everybody was right, because again, it's unfair. And then you had this gobshite, Seamus Wolf talking shite. He still was signed. Then you have Bill Hogan, making up everything, and then he broke the law. The OT never mentioned that anything had happened to him for breaking the law. Where's OT? 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 Are you going to mention this? Or do we have to wait for you to decide to talk about things? Or is this news at all? To them, but again, the government establishment, great country. But how do they get away with it? Like, honest to God, and again, it's very obvious that there has to be something. There has to be another tax to, basically balance the budget, and it is obvious. So I think they could try putting Irish water back in place. Isn't that great? It's a great country, because that's what these psychopaths are thinking at the moment. They're thinking about how much they can screw the Irish people over, and how much they can get out of the Irish people. Like, this is what they're thinking. This is what they're in their minds. They don't really care about money. Like, my God, they spent about a day talking about junior ministers, how much they were going to get paid in there, and then they decided, oh, we're going to pay them a ridiculous sum of money when the country's nearly bankrupt. Isn't it a great country? And we're going to give ourselves a pay rise too. And people in the channel can get 3.2 million for going in for a day. On expenses, travel expenses. Great country. And then we can claim expenses every TD dollar and every County Council could claim ridiculous sums of expenses with nobody checking them. Isn't it a great, great country? And Simon Coveney can claim for his car and his gallows driver and everything like that. It's a great country. Like, honest to God, it's a great, great country, and people struggling to survive. 10,000 homeless, ridiculous. I can't even think about the numbers of people waiting on the social housing. Like, God Almighty. Does this government live in reality? Like, I don't mean to laugh, but my God. This government, like, you think they were Peter Pan or something. Peter, they're not wearing the head. Let's be honest. But they know what they're doing. They're not that stupid. But something's very, very wrong with this establishment. I might as well say straight. I'm sure everybody can see it. But again, the media, no pushback from the media. Great country again. How many times do I have to say that? Because again, I'm being sarcastic. Because this country, it's going down every day. We talk about this. It's going down the drain more and more. And we're the only people really, stopping, basically pulling the country, trying to pull the country out of the drain. But again, we're in a big mess. And I might as well say straight, we are in a big, huge mess. And we're not going to get out of it for a long, long time. Because, again, there's so much, our heads up with the harm has been done to businesses and to people's lives. To people's livelihoods too. So you just have to wonder, you really just have to wonder what's happening in this country. And why are politicians are like this? Like, my Christ. I'm sure people would agree that Golfgate, people couldn't attend funerals. And they randomly decided, 80 of them, to go to a hotel. And people couldn't, it's a bit hypocritical. And then the day before, they were ordering people to do this and that, And again, I just want to know what they're doing behind closed doors. Are they partying or what's the story? Because again, this scarf thing, they're not really caring too much about the one rule, isn't it? It's one rule for thee, another rule for they, as they often say. Um, but it's just, and then you have this socialist up in the arse. That's what he is, the socialist. Um, talking rubbish. Like he's not even talking any sense. He's talking about like he's more worried about the economy than anything. And I'd be more worried about people's livelihoods and people's well-being. And he's talking shite about the economy. He's talking like somebody out of the 1930s. That's just like he's like somebody from the Soviet Union. We might send him to the Soviet Union. But again, the politicians of this country act like Soviet generals or something like that because they're that cruel. Like they're cruel to the people. Like honest to God. Some of them are good. Some of them are good. Some of them are decent. But the people we have in government didn't really have much time for them. You know again, because you think there would be taking a pay cut. At least in New Zealand, the one thing you can say about New Zealand's government, just to say, at least every one of them took pay cut. Took a 20% pay cut, showed the people that they were solidarity, people who lost their job, solidarity, just show solidarity and show that they were willing to put the money where their mouth is. That's what this government over here should do, should take a 50% pay cut. Might shut them up a bit. Might shut them up because they seem like the high and mighty and that nobody can say anything to them. In this country, it's just the establishment is, I don't know this. Like, you know, this country really just make you think about life. It honestly would make you think about life. And how much everything's you know, like honest to God, you really just couldn't make this up. Because again, this just you know, I just don't know. I really just don't know. Like I never seen a country that has just lived and lived away from every crisis. Something could check. I could go on the water charge. Like my God, I could go on and I can go on, I can go on and I can go on and I can go on. Of how many crises this country has faced, and the same two political parties, I mean governments too. Like you just have to wonder, you really just have to wonder because you know it's not, I don't know what it is. I might as well say like you know this country. There's so much things been said about this country by me over the last few years. You just run out of things to say about it because it's just you know everything they could do. Everything like they think of more ways. Don't worry, they prove me wrong. They do something else that they absolutely blow my mind again because again they come up with things that I make anybody cry because my God, because they come out of it the most stupidest things I can imagine. Like again, this country again.